Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer and I'm playing Andean Abyss. And it's looking okay actually. I'm a little in the lead. I got 26 points. My goal is to achieve these 26 points. But I got to make it through the deck more or less, or at least until the last propaganda card, before I can win in the solitaire variant. Well, the cartels might pose a threat. They are at 29 bucks, and if they are at 41, they would win this. So right now it's not too dangerous. But we gotta keep their bases low before they make a lot of money during the next propaganda card. But until that comes up, it will probably take a while, because the last propaganda card was just at the end of the last video. Okay, so let's start another turn. This is here Occidental and Ecopetrol. And the government goes first and does the event. Joint ventures between US and Colombian oil companies provided enough government revenue to justify major security measures. A 93 million batch of US dollar counterterrorism aid in 2003, for example, focused on protection of Colombian assets of California-based Occidental Petroleum. Critics saw government concessions to multinational oil giants as overly generous and tied poverty and human rights violations to US support for oil industry in the country. Okay, so oil company security. Place 6 police onto pipelines. 3 guerrillas there or adjacent flip to active. Okay, I'm not absolutely sure if that means that I can take police from this pool, but I think it should be possible. So let's simply do this now. I'm gonna take 6 here from the pool and gonna place them on pipelines. And usually in these cases you start with the highest value pipelines. So we're going to place one here. This is the value here of the different pipelines. One here. One here. And now we have only 2 valued pipelines remaining. And I'm going to roll which one we take. Okay, so I placed now one here, another one here, and the last one down here. Then we're going to activate 3 guerrillas there or adjacent flip to active. So I'm not sure who can decide that. Okay, so I checked the rules, and the executing faction usually is the one who determines which guerrillas are affected by an event. So in this case, because I am the one which fulfills the victory conditions, I will be the target where it is possible. So we will remove, we will activate 3 guerrillas. So I guess we will kind of, well, I don't know. Let's say one up here. This one here. And then another one here. Okay. So that was the action of the government. And then it's me, and I can now do an operations. So what will that be? Well, I could place a base by doing a rally action, but actually there's not a lot I can do apart from that, so that might be not worth this whole operation. I could also march. Maybe this is so interesting. I could march here, for example, from Huila Tolima to Nariño Cauca, and then I could try to do some terror here and there to get more opposition. That's an option. Another possibility would be to attack maybe these I could attack these guys. I wonder if I march, am I allowed to place them on the ground again? I gotta check that. Okay, so I guess what I want to do is I want to do attacks. I want to attack here, the AUC, because they pose a threat on my two bases. They could do an assassination there, and that's very, very painful. And then, I mean, if I already do an attack action, I can also do an attack here and attack these the base and the guerrilla of the cartels. And because I want to keep some of these guys on the other hand, I'm not sure actually if it makes sense to keep it underground. No, I don't think so. I think I will actually flip all these guys and do a regular attack here, which is an automatic success, I guess. And then I will flip only one here and do an ambush here. So I can destroy these two pieces. And then I'm allowed to place another one here. And that costs me one. And I pay another one. And then do an attack here. And I think if I roll a 1, I could place a guerrilla. Yeah, let's see. Okay, I didn't. So I can now actually kill two enemy pieces, exactly. So these two go away, and we'll see what it's worth. Fine. So that was my operation. It's the end of the turn. And then we got this demobilization thing going on. So as you can see, the AUC starts. And they will do the event. And that is number 40. So let's see what we have here. The Uribe administration in 2003 to 2006 negotiated the AUC's demobilization. Some suspected that the aim was to rein in paramilitaries, mainly to legitimize the state's main offensive against the FARC. Others charged that, while thousands of AUC members demobilized and turned in weapons, much of the demobilization was faked or of only temporary impact on paramilitary capabilities. A UN and US view was that remaining paramilitary bands were of a different nature, criminal rather than political in purpose. Okay, and we will actually do this. Talk the ruse fighters recycled. Move all cubes in a depth with AUC to any cities. Place one AUC piece in each of 2 cities. Ooh. So let's see. We might have a special note on a flowchart here. Yeah, here, demobilization. Move the most police, then troops possible to one random city. What? Okay, I get it. So actually the only department where we have cubes is this one here, Santander, Boyacá. So we only have to determine the city. That's 2, 1, and a 2. So that would be Cali. So that might not even be so bad. Okay, so they all go to Cali and place one AUC piece in each of 2 cities. Okay, so I guess we will also now determine randomly where to place these pieces. So that's a 6 and a 4 and a 3. So that's Neiva. So that one goes here, and the other one 1, 5, and a 2. So that is Sincelejo then, which is up here. Okay. And then it's the cartels, because the government is ineligible. So, and they will use the flowchart. So they will rally because there are more than 10 pieces available, place spaces. Yeah, that's actually possible. There are at least 2 cartels guerrillas without shipments. So that is possible here. And there are 2 bases allowed in a city. So they will remove these 2 and then place a second base in Cali. Okay. And that costs them 1. Then guerrillas to underground, that's not necessary. Wherever cartels have a base but no guerrillas, this is also not the case. Rally in one department where cartels could then cultivate to place a base. Okay, and this is going to be an apartment with population greater 0 and where cartels, guerrillas outnumber police. So let's see. That's a 1, no, it's a 4, a 2. So that could be Santander. Yes, and that's actually fine. So we're going to place a guerrilla there, and then we're going to cultivate and place a base in here. Okay, so that means they got to pay another one because they rallied twice. And that was then the end of the cartel's action. Okay, next card. This is now again a government capability, which is not bad. If you get them early in the game, it makes you stronger throughout the game, so that's pretty cool. Plan Meteoro. Let's see what that is. It's card number 13. The Uribe administration funded special transportation network protection units under Plan Meteor. So that means patrol conducts a free assault in each line of communication. That's definitely good. Yeah, let's see. It's this one here. Patrol, assault, assault all. Okay. Nice. And yeah, so that was the event. And then it's me, and I can do now... I can do now an operation. Which one will that be? Well, I could simply do a terror action in here, for example. Maybe that's the best. Let me think a little bit. Okay, I think I'm going to do a march action. And I'm going to spend 3... Yeah, I'm going to spend 3 resources, and I'm going to move to Neva, Pasto, and Putumayo. So I'm going to move with 2 each to Pasto and to Neva. And as long as the total of guerrillas and cubes doesn't exceed 3, the guerrillas stay underground. So I don't have to activate them now. And then I can move, well, I guess I want to move 3 guerrillas from Guaviare to Putumayo. And yeah, that's fine then. So I'm going to pay 3. But then I'm going to activate, I'm going to extort, and I'm going to activate this one and that one and one here, one here. Yeah, so I'm going to get 4 back. So overall I will get 1 resource. Okay, and yeah, this is then that was then the FARC's turn, and it's the end of this round. Okay, so here we have now Sicarios, and the cartels, they will do the event. So let's see, this is 72. Colombia's big drug traffickers and guerrilla groups created a violent social type, the Sicario, a poor youngster, mainly urban, who for a sum of money would kill a cartel's opponents. The M19 guerrilla group in the 1980s, before its demobilization, organized and trained such poor urban youth who later became gangsters for hire to the highest bidder, typically the cartels. The AUC in turn offered monthly wages to unemployed youth who had worked as sicarios for the drug organizations if they would serve as AUC troops. Ex-AUC fighters with few alternatives often became sicarios for drug traffickers. Okay, so it says, unemployed ready to work for syndicates. Place all available cartels guerrillas into spaces with cartel spaces. Oh my god. Well, okay. So let's see. Is there a special rule for that? Yeah, place guerrillas as evenly among spaces as possible. Okay, so we got only 3 spaces. We got Panama, Santander, and Cali. And we got 7 guerrillas. So let's see which one will have the additional one. Okay, that is Cali. So that means we're going to place 3 in Cali, which is probably a good idea, because there are some troops. Then 2 in Santander and 2 in Panama. Okay. So that was then the event of the cartels. And then it's the AUC simply doing an operation. Okay, and let's see if they can place a base. Yeah, actually they can. So they're going to rally, place bases where there are at least 2 AUC guerrillas without shipments. Okay, so that means they're going to rally up here. So we remove 2 guerrillas, place a base here in Atlántico. Okay, this guy goes here. And let's see, anywhere else? Nope. Okay, so that was the first one. Then guerrillas to underground in all spaces with active ASC guerrillas. A C base and a cube, not the case. Place guerrillas at all FARC bases, then at ASC bases, then randomly. Okay, what about FARC bases? Well, remember, it has to be a non-opposition space. So right now I cannot find any FARC bases on non-opposition spaces. So then we have to place them at AUC bases, but we're not allowed to place them here because we rallied already there. So you can only rally once in a space. So we're going to rally here and place the 4 guerrillas here in Antioquia. Okay. So that is then the second one. And then we have one left, and this one is placed randomly. So that is 1, 4 and 2. That would be Atlántico then. That isn't possible because I already did a rally action. Cesaro's opposition, but Cucuta. That is actually possible. Okay. So then we have 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, but we will have an extort action as a special activity. Okay, so we have that here, 1, 2 in Atlántico. Then here, because they outnumber the forces, that's a 3 then. Yeah, so they gain 3 back. Okay. So they're again at 11. They're not doing that bad actually. They have already 4 bases, which is not that bad for the AUC, in my opinion. Okay, let's do another card. Okay, so here we have the Airbridge. So, and I can start. There's 1 cartel space into each of 3 departments. Well, we definitely don't want to do that. We could, well, that's pretty cool. Remove all cartels pieces from 1 city. Cartel's resources -6. That's pretty awesome. But the government will do this anyway because they ignore this second operation symbol. So I don't have to care about these guys. I can do an operation then, and that is maybe a weakness of this government's AI. They do very little operations. That's definitely a problem here. So let me see what I can do now. Yeah, I think I'm going to do some terror now. Maybe in all these spaces here. Well, let's see if this is possible, but I guess it is. So here we have terror, neutralize support or economic activity. Any spaces with underground guerrillas. 1 resource per city. Yeah. In each selected space, activate 1 underground guerrilla. If department or city place terror and shift support opposition 1 level toward active opposition. Okay. So, well, maybe during this last March action, I should have moved on to some LOCs, but okay, it's too late now. So I'm gonna activate now a few here. And yeah, and then here. And then I can place these terror markers, these markers in there, and now I'm allowed to flip this 1 towards active opposition. So this card, this city goes to passive support. Same with that one. Okay. And this one goes to neutral. Okay. So the government loses now 3 influence, which is good. And then I can do a kidnap action, special action. Location up to 3 cartels base, city or LOC spaces with terror op and FARC guerrillas exceed police. Okay, so basically in the 2 cities here. That means each space, government if city, transfer to FARC a shipment or a die rolls resources. So let's roll if 6 AUC places 1 piece. Okay, so let's roll here for Pasto. That's not so great. But okay, I gain $2, the government loses 2, and I will gain 2. Well, actually, I think I didn't pay my 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then I gain 2. And the same happens here in Neva. So let's see how much I gain there. Okay. Well, the good thing is it's a 6. The bad thing is now the AUC can place another piece. So let's see what that exactly means. Well, I got 12 resources, which is pretty cool. Where will they now place their piece? Let me check that. Okay, so actually it has to be that same space. So that means now that the AUC can place a base in there, which makes it now a little bit dangerous. Okay, because now they already have 5 bases. That's quite a bit, but okay, I got 8, so I'm still pretty much in the lead. They have to have more bases than me before they become a serious threat. So, yeah, okay. That was my operation, and then it's the government's event, and that's an Airbridge. Traditionally, the bulk of coca processed into cocaine in Colombia had been grown in Peru and Bolivia. An Airbridge strategy of US-Peruvian interdiction of coca deliveries into Colombia denied Colombian traffickers most of this central Andean crop, with the unintended effect of encouraging coca cultivation inside Colombia. Between 1995 and 1999, Colombia became the center of all stages of cocaine production, from harvest to delivery. Okay, so it's Peruvian coca supply controlled. Remove all cartels pieces from one city. Cartels resources -6. Okay, well that's pretty tough now, because the only city where it is possible, because there is no other city, is actually this one. So they're gonna remove these 2 bases here. Does it say bases or pieces? Well, it says actually pieces. Well, that's awesome, because now Cali is completely cleared from the cartels, and they lose 6. So that was a pretty bad hit for the cartels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Very good. Okay, so let's do one last card. It's Amazonia, and this is now again an event for the cartels, so maybe they will come back now. They will do this event. So let's see what that is. The lowlands of eastern Colombia, comprising 60% of national territory but only 4% of population, formed a vast hinterland vacuum for illegal groups to fill. Government pressure in the late 1990s and early 2000s pushed these groups, coca growers and FARC alike, ever deeper into jungle sanctuaries. Brazil shared an interest with Colombia in controlling their vast Amazonian frontier, so it sought to block the daily clandestine flights between Colombia and its airspace and, with Colombian authorities, dismantled numerous jungle landing strips near the border. In 2000, it launched its 3-year Operation Cobra to augment its border presence with the deployment of 6,000 Brazilian troops to the region. Yeah, but this won't happen because this shaded event is activated and it says jungle landing strips. You can see them here. Place 1 cartel's base each in Guainía, Vaupés and Amazonas. Yeah, that is bad. So they actually come back. We have 1 base here, 1 base here, and 1 base here. Okay. Yeah, okay, fine. And then it's the AUC using the flow chart. Okay, and they can actually rally because they can place a base in Cucuta. And that's what they're gonna do. So they're gonna remove these 2, place a base here. Okay, so that was the first one. And they now have all their 6 bases placed. Guerrillas to underground, blah, well, actually that won't happen. Place guerrillas at all FARC bases, then AOC bases, then randomly. Okay, so we cannot place them on a FARC base. That is not possible because all the FARC bases are opposition, in an opposition territory. But of course in AUC bases. And now we're going to see, we could either place it here or there. Not there because we did rally there in this turn, but also here actually. So we got to roll between these 3. So let's see. Okay, so we're going to place them up here. That means we could actually place up to 3, but in this case we place only these 2 in here. And this is it then. Okay, so that was the AUC's turn. And then they're gonna extort. I forgot that. Well, they have to pay $2 for these 2 rally operations. And then they extort. They can extort here. So that's 1, 2. This is it. Okay, so we'll gain these 2 back. Okay. And this is actually here the next card. Fine. So, yeah. This is it then. Well, it remains interesting, I guess. Not so much changed. Yeah, I might be able to weaken the government more in these two cities. It's also interesting here in Neva with that base. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. Yeah. I could also rally here in Putumayo, place my base here, for example. Then this guy might pose a threat. So I don't know. There are some interesting things going on. Yeah. Okay, I hope to see you in my next video. Until then, bye.